Hello again. Okay, we've had dinner and we've come back and everything is dry. So what I've decided to do, or at least try, is I'm putting a layer of, I don't know what this is. This is a Skycraft oil pastel. It has a website. If they're still in business, I put a link. But if you have an oil pastel, just, a regular one, I'm sure that's what this is. Excuse me. I'm just going to put down, oh, we broke a piece, a layer of this, and then I think I'm going to try to use a clear or a white tissue paper and see what happens. But we'll see. So we're going to take a break. We're going to still let this dry because it is still wet, and we're probably going to paint these 3 boxes before we come back. Okay, so we'll see you in a bit. I've also painted the little small boxes. I had some like instant rust and patina stuff to spray on it, so I tried it. Most of it was dry, but these are still wet, so we're going to see if anything happens. One of them is sort of starting to rust a little bit. I don't know if you can see it because it's a real tiny little bit, but I painted them brown first, and then I painted the black, whatever, stainless or whatever it's called, over that, and then I sprayed it with the patina magic making stuff. But now I have all these little bits of tissue that I'm going to apply to our nice dry book that's been covered with the oil pastel, and I'm using golden regular gel gloss medium, and we're just going to, this brush might be too ratty, or this gel medium might be too thick. It might be just starting to thicken up. So I'm going to move the camera down so you can see what that process is like, and let's see. Let's do it. So we're just going to take some of this off our fingers. I'm really stubborn, so I will try to use stuff that clearly isn't meant to be used anymore, but that's how we make a lot of our more advantageous discoveries, isn't it? We're back again. I've scraped a lot of that previous gel medium off. I started to think, what if it doesn't dry clear? So I went and looked in the shelves, and I found this unopened bottle of Mod Podge Antique Matte. I don't know what it does, but we will find out together, won't we? Okay, we're going to start with our tissue, and we're just going to, I want it scrunched up. I don't know why. I mean, what? I'm trying to figure out, like, what's the provenance of that. I mean, maybe it's an old, thick book cover or something. I don't know. But I hope a lot of these fun colors show through. So I have a feeling that this Mod Podge dries a little like brownish. And then it says, is it matte? Yeah, it says Antique Matte. I mean, I could understand if I was like going for a leather look, which you could kind of achieve with this kind of paper, you know, and some Mod Podge. You could kind of get that leather look, but I wanted mine to be definitely purple. If you can see how sometimes when I put the paper down, it's coming up, one way to alleviate that is to brush the area first, then apply your medium, but I kind of was trying to get it to, you know, muss up so it has a little texture. And in these really concentrated purple areas, let's get a good cover. So I've never used this antique mat. I don't even remember buying it, to be honest. So maybe I should just give the whole thing a nice coat and see what happens. Now, see, when I was brushing the tissue paper, I kind of brushed a little bit off of that edge there, and we're just gonna patch that up. And nobody knows. I have a little bit of sticky dot, you know, one of those Quake hold things. Actually, that's what it is. And I'm just going to use that to hold the box down so it's not flying all over the table. I can't really see that it's giving me an antique look. Can you? I don't know. Maybe if this were a very light color. Over here, where it's the light, it's almost the same box color. I'm just going to take another layer of that same color paper and just give it a little oomph, a little depth. So it's still light in that corner. I think that first layer is done. When I was looking at that gold leaf, I found some of these little flakes. And we're just gonna sprinkle those on. I want smaller pieces. These are so lightweight that if I had the ceiling fan on in here, this would just not be good. This would be a hot mess. Because these flakes are so lightweight. Oh, it's so funny. It's like very few of them are landing on the bright, colorful side, but that's okay. Where's some of this orange? I want some of that. I guess I want the book to look sort of cool and like it may have some cool secrets in it, because it can't be, you know, just an ordinary book. And we're just going to let that dry. And we're going to check our boxes. So that's what we have so far. So we have a piece of scrap paper, and we're just going to look at our boxes. They really aren't oxidizing, but that's okay. We're going to use some of this antique medium on there, and I think it's going to be just fine. I had cut, oh, here we go. I had cut little squares out of some paste paper that I had made a long while ago. This is, I think, actually with re-inkers. With pigment re-inkers, just plop them down on the page, use something like this to swirl some designs in, and there you go. So we're just gonna drop that down. And I only tried one of these, so hopefully they'll all fit. Just letting that glue come up. There we go. Number 2. And number 3. Oops. Okay, so there's those 3. And that paper looks, I think, pretty cool in there. Okay. This has been about not even 5 minutes, but it's starting to dry. And I do see that the antique medium has sort of given it like a, I don't know, can you see like a depth of finish to it? But it does look different than the unvarnished, so we are going to press ahead. I'm not going to put any additional paper on the back, because why? I'm just going to give it a couple of coats of medium, or what is this? Mod Podge. You know, I've always been calling it Mod Podge. It is Mod Podge. Kudos to whoever thought that up. That's catchy. Mod Podge. I'd say it feels slightly thicker. You can see it has kind of a yellowish cast to it. Can you see that? I don't know. Forget to do our spine. That would leave us spineless. Now, whenever I use like gold leaf or any sort of inclusion, I like to put down an initial layer of, you know, so I have, you saw me put down the first layer. Then I like to go over and give 1 or 2 coats of my protective finish, which is, this is what's going to be. And then I like to add more of that inclusion. Here is our book, and we are going to add some more gold leaf. Oh gosh, I've got so much. I've got the gold, I've got the copper, I've got this multi, and I've got this dark. So we're just going to go ahead and add that. So here, you notice before I put down very small flakes. Here I'm going to use larger ones. Not that large though. Goodness. Oh, that's pretty. Let's get a nice big wodge of it on the end here. Use a little wax paper. And our bone folder, and get a nice surface. And some of our leaf will come up. Don't worry about it. And you're always supposed to brush off with a, you know, because you're supposed to collect this, because back in the day, you know, this was real gold. So I think some of it is. I think some of what I have is real gold, but you would brush this off with a fine brush and then collect it. And put that back in your little pouch for the next one. And you can see I still haven't done my edges yet, but we're just brushing off the excess leaf. That can be a process. And here we are again. So now, hopefully, I have some layers with my gilding. And sometimes you have to be prepared for this. Sometimes just because you're putting, you know, something that's wet on top, sometimes you will change the nature of the leaf. Sometimes it will change color on you. The silver will sometimes tarnish, and the copper will get a kind of a verdigris thing going. So we're just putting, I think that's going to be our final coat on the top for the time being. If after tomorrow we decide that we need more, we'll go ahead and do that. Okay. That was nice and covered. And we're going to do our spine, and we're not going to do the back just yet. And I'm not disappointed that we didn't get the gel medium in. I think this is going to work out just fine. I also decided I'm going to put a fancy end paper in here, and maybe a, not a library card, what's it called, a book plate. So let's go ahead and let that dry, and we will be back probably tomorrow. Okay, I went ahead and finished the box. I did not tape it, and I am sorry about that, but I just kind of got carried away, and so I wanted to show it to you. And first we're going to show you the outside. I ended up using, I don't know if you can, yeah, that's a better view. This part is like a Chinese coin, but it's stamped into silver glue stick, and then I trimmed that out. And I just found a bag of these, so yeah, I must have done them in a class. I thought this silver one was a little fun. And then I used a Swarovski crystal in the center there. And that is, you know, the Swarovski crystals, they have like a gold backing. Did I put the drawer back? Oh, yes, I did. Yay for me, putting stuff back where it goes right away. The Swarovski crystals, they have, you know, like a gold backing, so you get that brilliance off of them. And I had glued them and had made earrings, and some of them didn't last. And so the gold leaf bit came off the back. So I've just been saving them and hoarding them and trying to figure out what to do with them, see if I could fix them. And this one just fit perfectly right there. And I thought, okay, well, that's done. And then these little brass fittings I got at, oops, I think I got these at Joann's. It just says bead landing, and it's called Found Objects. And because it didn't stand out well, I just used some turquoise cardstock paper as the background, and I just cut it out to trim. And I used this little thin bit of the octopus paper, and here's some of our string, which we are also using to close our box. And let's open it up. Octopus paper! Yay! Doesn't that look cool? I love this paper. And I wish I knew where I got it, because I'd go get some more, but who knows? So let's take a look down, and let's put the box together. And here's our little box. We're going to keep our pens and our little sticky notes or whatever in. And that goes in the bottom. And I do have a little pen that's short that can fit in there. Here's the box with all of our die. And you can see here that's got that little coin paper in the bottom. This is the first box that I did, and it's got the gold and the writing paper on the thing, and we're just going to tuck that in. And these are the ones that I was trying to get to make some sort of, I don't know, chemical reaction. I did get this tiniest little bit of rust. Let's see if we can, oh, that one wasn't it. That one wasn't it. And I thought, oh, I'll keep this little shiny bit there. I did get the tiniest little bit of rust in here. I don't know if you can see it, but I did. And I usually tape my stuff in my book, so we're gonna get some washi tape. I have this one, but you know, it doesn't really fit with our theme now, does it? Our little D&D theme. We're gonna put some little skeleton washi tape in there. I think that's more appropriate. And our little figure, if she was dry, would go here, but she is still drying, and she's coming along. I've just started in the back, and we're working on her little rocks, and she's got a little, looks like she's grave robbing. How appropriate. And we would close that up. And I don't know if I necessarily want to tie this closed. I was originally thinking, you know, like here would we wrap it around. Oh, it doesn't fit, so no, it would have to fit on the spine. I don't know. What do you think? But let's go ahead and give this a try with boop, boop, boop. Oh, this yarn is stretchy. That was something I should have tested out before. Okay, so I don't know what we're gonna do. I think we're just gonna go with the bead and put a knot at the end of it and call it a day or something. And I'm trying to think, is there anything else that I did that I didn't tell you about? Oh, okay. So I used the Beijing Yinny. I don't know. It's this red goopy ink. It's like a paste ink, and I just got a paper towel and I rubbed that in and I let that dry, and then I used this Grecian gold rub and buff, and I rubbed that in and let that dry, and then at the very end I just used the Skycrafts paper wax micro glaze, and I just went over that. So it's kind of got, I rubbed it in really well, so it doesn't have that waxy feel to it anymore, but it definitely it definitely got a gloss, and I think it looks like the old pages of a book. And I also took a sanding block and I sanded some of the rougher edges of the paper, and I was going to go through and paint them, you know, just like paint the edges, but I kind of like the raw rough edge there, so I've left it alone. That is what I ended up doing after I said I would be right back and we would finish the book together. So liar, liar, pants on fire, me. Yeah, that's it. So thanks so much for watching, and until the next time, oh, that's upside down. I don't like that. Until the next time, you just keep on crafting, okay? Bye-bye.